Hey guys, welcome to the video. In this video, we're going to be changing the oil in the Transaxle. This is although it's going in a Baja Bug, this is a Volkswagen Bus Type 2 Transaxle with the, I think it's 537 ring and pinion. Now, I haven't ran this Transaxle since I had it remanufactured, but I bought it and set it in here about a year and a half or 2 years ago. When I got it, I added oil to it and sloshed it around just so that nothing in there would dry up. But in this video, I'm going to drain that oil out of it, and then I'm going to add the proper oil, which for me is going to be 80W90 oil. Now, the first complication for me, I don't know if you can tell in this picture, when I set up my engine and Transaxle in this chassis, I set them at a pretty steep angle. I want to say it's like 12 degrees. It's a little bit more than 10 degrees. So what that's going to do for me, it's made it so my Transaxle is going up at about, let's call it 12 degrees. The drain plug on this Transaxle is up at the bell housing, and my Transaxle, when this chassis is sitting at ride height, is sitting like this, so it's facing up. So the first thing I need to do is figure out how I can jack up the front end enough so that it levels out or even angles my Transaxle down a little bit so that I can drain it, then I'll level it, and then I'll fill it. Okay, that'll work. I just threw one of my scissor jacks in there, jacked him up almost all the way. It lifted it up plenty. You can see the Transaxle now is angled back, so when I pull the drain plug out at the very back end there, everything that can is just going to pour right out. When I fabricated the cross member that goes underneath my Transaxle, for some reason, I'm sure I was just oblivious to it at the point, I made it so that it's like, I've only got about 3/4 of an inch between the drain plug and this cross member that I made, so you can't get in there with an Allen wrench, you can't get in there with a socket, but you can get in there with this. You can slip it in there, rotate it out, you can get the drain plug out, you can let it drain. So it's functional, but it does require a homemade tool because for some reason I was not paying attention to when I made that, and I kind of blocked off the drain plug, but I'll live with it. But I had to make a special tool to get in there. So let's go pop the drain plug out and let her drain. That's the fill plug. So I'm gonna loosen that. I'm gonna take that out because I want to make sure that I can get that open before I drain this out of here, just to be sure. So I'm gonna do that right now. Turns out that was already basically finger tight. So I got that out. I'm just gonna set it up here. Now I'm gonna pop this out and try and catch what I can in this drain plug. I think there's gonna be barely any gear oil in there. Oh my gosh, this wrench is awesome. It's incredible. See how tight, see how much oil I get on my hand because of this crazy configuration I've got. Wow, that first drop already missed the drain pan. Oh, there we go. I cleaned up the drain plug and it's barely dribbling out of here right now, so I'm gonna put this back in. I'm not putting any anti-seize or anything like that on here because on a toy like this drain plug is never going to be in there for long periods of time where it could possibly start to rust or get corroded in there or anything like that. And I don't like to have to use those things like Teflon tape or anti-seize if I don't absolutely have to. So I'm going to use my magic wrench, snug her up a little bit. Not even going to make it all that tight, just tight enough. That should be it. Obviously if it leaks a little bit, I'll tighten it a little bit more, but you know, things like this don't need to be very tight. If you over tighten them, you're just stressing out all the castings. Now there's a lot of different ways you can do this as far as adding oil. I can actually, there's an access door in the top of my Bug where I could get up there and pour it in, but I don't really want to climb up in there with it on the jack stands. And you guys probably won't be able to do it that way, so I want to be able to show it a way that you could possibly be able to do it. This is a pump. It's designed to go into these bottles and just screw onto the top. Now with this, I can just put this tube into the fill hole and just start pumping it in.
Alright, so I put in 2.5 quarts, which is what it says it would take. It didn't actually overflow out of there, but I can see the level, and it's about, looks like about 1/8, maybe 3/16 of an inch below from before it'll start pouring out of there. I'm okay with that for now. I'm not going to add any more to it. I'm not going to keep adding it until it comes out of there, because I'm going to probably run this transaxle for, you know, like 100-200 miles maybe once I get it up to the point where this Bug's running, doing some shakedown runs. And then most likely, since this is a fresh rebuild, I'm going to drain all this again and fill it one more time. Now on that second fill, that'll be the fill with that I leave in there for a long time, so that'll be the one that I make sure I fill till it comes all the way out of here. But for now, I'm perfectly good with this. So I'm going to put this drain plug back in, and that should be it. We pulled the drain plug. Actually, we leveled the transaxle. We pulled the drain plug. We drained the oil. We put that plug back in. We put 2.5 quarts in. It's just underneath the fill line. We're okay with that. We put the fill plug back in. We're good to go. Hope you guys liked the video. Thanks for watching it. I hope I see you on the next one. Have a good day.